Reviewing NHL games of December 4th, 2018. There's 10 games, 10 games on. So yeah, let's power through this, shall we? The Calgary Flames beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in 1985, apparently, because the score was 9-6. Yeah. So let's start off with a couple of notes. Gaudreau, after this game, extends his point streak to 5 games. Surprise, surprise. Riddick was pulled after the first period in this game. He let in 3 goals on 14 shots. Scores 5 goals in the period. This is the fourth time Calgary has scored 5 goals in a period this season. To give you a little bit of reference here, the rest of the NHL has only done this 3 times combined. Yeah, wow, boom. Yes, and Calgary's top line combined for 10 points in this game. In any case, let's get to it, shall we? First period, Gaudreau gets his 11th of the year, assisted by Monahan. I was going to say Mohan. Monahan and Hamonic. Then Columbus scores like 4 goals in a row. I don't even need to tell you their names. Werenski gets his 5th of the season to tie it up, assisted by Bjorkstrand and Wenberg. It's 1-1. Still in the first, Anderson scores for Columbus, his 12th of the season on the power play, unassisted. It's 2-1 Columbus. Still in the first, Atkinson, not Anderson. Atkinson gets his 17th of the season, assisted by Panarin and Jones. That's the end of the period. It's 3-1 Columbus. Start of the second period, Columbus scores again. They make it 4-1. Atkinson gets his 2nd of the game, his 18th of the season. Panarin and Jones assist, and they get their 2nd points of the game. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Calgary scores 5 goals. This is the Coles notes I'm giving you here. Anyways, let's get back. So it's 4-1, and then Calgary makes it 4-2. Giordano on the power play gets his 4th of the season, assisted by Monahan, his 2nd point of the night. Let's see if I can keep up here. Then Calgary makes it 4-3. Lindholm gets his 13th of the season, assisted by Hamonic, his 2nd point of the night, and Monahan, his 3rd point of the night. Calgary then makes it 4-4. Ties it up on Tkachuk's goal on the power play, his 13th of the season, assisted by Lindholm and Gaudreau, who gets his 2nd point of the evening. Then Calgary goes ahead. 5-4 on a goal from Hanifin, gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Tkachuk, his 2nd point of the night, and Jankowski. We're still in the second period, by the way. Then Calgary scores their 5th. They're 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they go ahead 6-4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6-4 on a goal from Brody, his 3rd of the season, assisted by Gaudreau, who gets his 3rd point on the night. And then before the period ends, Columbus makes it close. They score. They make it 6-5. A goal by Foligno, his 7th of the season, assisted by Murray. Wow, I need some water. 3rd period. It's not so 6-5. So Calgary makes it 7-5. 7-5. Monahan gets his 4th point of the night, his 17th goal of the season on the power play, assisted by Lindholm and Giordano, who both get their 2nd points of the evening. Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then Calgary makes it 8-5. Gaudreau gets his 4th point of the night, his 2nd goal of the game, his 12th of the season, assisted by Giordano, his 2nd point of the night, and Smith, because Smith came in for Riddick to start the second period, if you remember that in the warm-up to this game. Then Atkinson scores to make it 8-6. 8-6 for Calgary. Atkinson for Columbus, but it's 8-6. Atkinson gets his 19th of the season, a hat trick in the game. Yeah, a hat trick in the game. He gets a hat trick and they still lose. Nudivara gets an assist, and Murray gets his second point of the game. And then to close the scoring, to make it 9-6 for Calgary, Cesarnik gets his second of the season, and Backlund has the assist. Wow. Okay, so Calgary goes 3 for 4 on the power play. Columbus, what's up with that penalty kill? And Columbus goes 1 for 3 on the power play. Riddick makes 11 of 14 saves before being pulled. Bobrovsky makes 18 of 26 saves, 18 of 26. Calgary is now 17-9-2 with 36 points. Columbus is 15-10-2 with 32 points. The Metropolitan Division is wide open. Really, even Pittsburgh can claw their way back at this point. And so what am I missing here? Yeah, so Calgary in their last 10 are now 7-2-1, and this is their third win in a row now. And Columbus is now 6-4-0 in their last 10, and this is their second loss in a row. Next game. I promise there's lots of goals tonight, but I think this is the highest scoring game. I promise you. Next one up, Pittsburgh Penguins in a rematch a week later, with a totally opposite outcome, beat the Colorado Avalanche 6-3. Now, some pre-notes on this game. Hornqvist gets a hat trick in this game, and he gets it in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The fastest hat trick in Pittsburgh Penguins franchise history, and a milestone that comes on hat giveaway night. What are the odds of that? What, really? Actually, I think they're not that big, because I think they said Crosby did that last year on hat day, got a hat trick, but still. And yeah, so let's just jump into this one. First period, Pittsburgh gets on the board first, and it happened in the same way as the last game too. One team scored 3 goals in the first period, the other team scored 3 goals in the second period, and then the third was a mix, but it was back to the team that scored in the first. It was like opposite day for these two teams. So first period, Gensel gets his 12th of the season, assisted by Letang and Demlin. 1-0 Pittsburgh. 2-0 Pittsburgh. Malkin gets on the board, 10th of the season, assisted by Pearson and Hornqvist. 2-0 Pittsburgh. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Brassard gets only his 3rd of the season, assisted by Manta and Aston Reese. Going into the second period, 3-0 Pittsburgh. Colorado wakes up. Barry, the defenseman, gets his 4th of the season on the power play, assisted by Ratinen and Landeskog. Lethal power play, that is. So now it's 3-1. 3-2. Soderberg scores for Colorado, gets his 9th of the season, assisted by Calvert and Cole. Colorado scores again, ties the game. Still in the second period, Nito gets his 3rd goal of the season, short-handed, assisted by Bork. Third period, all Pittsburgh. It's so weird. It's such a weird game. I didn't watch this game. I wish I did. In any case, there were lots of good games on tonight. Third period, Pittsburgh goes ahead 4-3. Hornqvist just scores 3 goals in a row. Really, that's the rest of the game. Hornqvist gets his second point of the night, 10th goal of the season on the power play, assisted by Letang, second point of the game, and Kessel. Pittsburgh then goes ahead 5-3. Hornqvist gets his second goal of the night, his 3rd point in the game, assisted by Malkin, who gets his 2nd point of the evening. Then, of course, Pittsburgh makes it 6-3. Hornqvist gets the hat trick, his 4th point of the night, which is unassisted. Yeah, just another crazy hockey game. Colorado goes 1 for 4 on the power play. Pittsburgh goes 1 for 4 as well. Varlamov makes 26 saves 26 of 32. DeSmith, 42 of 45. Busy man that night. Looked really good in net. And so Colorado is now 16-7-5 with 37 points. Still very respectable up near the top of the league. Pittsburgh is 11-10-5 with 27, and they aren't necessarily out of it. If some teams above them falter, like Columbus did tonight, and they can keep winning, it's possible. You never know. It's Pittsburgh, after all. So Colorado 7-2-1 in their last 10. This is their first loss. They won their last game. Pittsburgh is now 4-4-2 in their last 10, and they lost their last game. This is obviously the win. Their one win in a row for them. Next game. Florida Panthers beat the Boston Bruins 5-0. Yeah, this is opposite day. I told you. What are the pre-notes I have on this? Halak, although 5 goals were scored against him, he did make some amazing saves in the first period and a half of this game to keep it 0-0. But later in the match, there was 1 or 2 kind of softies, but really he had no chance on the others. There's just bad D by Boston. And mind you, most of Boston D is half or more of Boston's D is in the infirmary right now. And don't forget Bergeron. But Boston was doing well, okay without them until last week and a half or so. In any case, first period, no goals. Second period, Hoffman gets his 13th of the season, assisted by Savoie and Huberdeau. Then 2-0 Florida. Matheson goes end-to-end, gets his second goal unassisted on the season. 3-0 Florida. Huberdeau gets his second point of the night, his 7th goal of the season, assisted by Yandel and Barkov. Then 4-0 Florida. Hoffman gets a second goal of the night, 14th of the season, assisted by Barkov and Yandel, who get their second points of the night as well. Then we move to the third period. Dadonov on the power play gets his 13th of the season. He's Dadonov's. No, he's a forward. I was thinking he was a defense for a second. I don't know what was happening there. My train of thought just went out the window. And then assisted by Barkov and Huberdeau, who both got their third point on the night. Florida goes 2 for 6 on the power play. Boston goes 0 for 4 on the power play. Luongo gets a shutout with 33 saves. Halak still saves 39 of 44, not bad. Florida's now 11-10-5 with 27 points. Boston's now 14-9-4 with 32 points. Florida is now 4-4-2 in their last 10. This is their first win to start a streak. Hopefully for them, Boston is now also 4-4-2 in their last 10 and have lost 2 in a row. Next game up here. The Winnipeg Jets beat the New York Islanders 3-1. Finally, a real hockey score. What's with these people? Jeez. Okay, so some notes on this game. Both goalies looked really good and made some highlight reel saves in this one. So you may want to go check out the highlights for this game. First period, no goals. Second period, no goals. I know, boring, right? Third period, the Islanders get on the board first, actually. It's 1-0. Lee gets his 10th of the season, assisted by Nielsen and Boychuk. Can you still see me? Yeah, I'm still on screen. And then Winnipeg wakes up and takes over. Trouba ties it up, gets his 3rd of the season on the power play from Wheeler and Connor. And then they go ahead 2-1. Lowry gets his 5th of the season, assisted by Tanev and Perreault. And then Ehlers makes it 3-1. That's an empty netter. He scores his 9th of the season unassisted. Winnipeg goes 1 for 3 on the power play. The Islanders go 0 for 2. Hellebuck makes 27 saves on 28 shots. Greiss, 21 on 23. Winnipeg is now 17-8-2 with 36 points, near the top-ish of the league. I'm going to say top 5, 6 or so, maybe. Yeah, 6, 7. Winnipeg, 17-8-2 with 36 points, near the top-ish of the league. I'm going to say top 5, 6 or so, maybe. Yeah, 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. The Islanders now 13-10-3 with 29 points. Still better, I think, than anyone thought they'd be doing so far. And Winnipeg is at 6-3-1 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row now. And the Islanders are now 5-4-1 in their last 10, and this being their first loss. Next game, the Tampa. This is another high scoring game here. The Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Detroit Red Wings 6-5 in a shootout. Detroit's been giving some good teams a lot of trouble these days. I don't think they're gonna. I predicted them to be last in the league, and I don't think that's happening anymore. They're fighters. Lots of highlight reel goals in this one, and that's about all the notes I have. So let's get to the first period. Detroit gets on the board first. Nyquist gets his 5th of the season, assisted by Larkin. Detroit then makes it 2-0. Nielsen gets his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Anastasio. Second period, Tampa starts to make the comeback. Joseph gets his 7th of the season, assisted by Callahan to make it 2-1. Tampa then evens it up by another goal by Joseph, his 8th of the season, assisted by Gord. Detroit goes ahead 3-2. It's a back and forth game, exciting game to watch. Nielsen gets his 2nd goal of the night, his 3rd of the season, assisted by Witkowski. That's a nice hockey name. And then Tampa ties it up again, just back and forth. Stamkos gets his 10th of the season, assisted by Callahan. I think this was a bit of a breakaway pass on this one, and it was just a hot wrister that beat Howard. Where are we here? Yeah, 3-all. Detroit makes it 4-3. Nielsen gets a hat trick, only his 4th of the season. He happens to score 3 of them in this game. Assisted by Anastasio, who gets his 2nd point of the night. Third period. So where do we stand here? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4-3. Detroit going into the third period. What? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Detroit makes it 5-3 in the beginning of the third. Nyquist gets his 2nd of the game, 6th goal of the season, assisted by Larkin, an applicator. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, it's 5-4. Sorry, I feel a little slow. I'm tired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-3. Okay, so then Tampa scores next, to make it 5-4. Miller gets the 6th of the season, assisted by Sergachev. Then Tampa ties it up. This is sad. Not only does for Detroit, because not only does Tampa tie it up, but they tie it up short-handed. Man, if I was, who's their coach? I want to say, Blashill. I'd be mad. I'd be mad at my team right now. Anyways, it's scored by Paquette. He gets his 7th of the season, assisted by Joseph, who gets his 3rd point on the night. Overtime, no goals. The shootout, Hedman and Kucherov score for Tampa, and Nyquist, who's had a plethora of points in this game, is the only one to score for Detroit. The Red Wings go 0-2 on the power play. So does Tampa. Howard makes 30 saves on 35 shots. Pasquale, I think that's how he pronounced it, who's like the backup to Dominique, who is the backup. So he's the backup to the backup. Anyways, he saves 19-24. And Detroit's now 12-12-4 with 28 points. Tampa's now 21-7-1 with 43 points. I think that leads the league right now. I'm pretty sure. Detroit in the last 10 is 4-4-2, and this is their 2nd loss in a row. Tampa is 8-2-0, and this is their 4th win in a row. Next up, the Montreal Canadiens versus the Ottawa Senators. I wish I can grab my water real quick. There we go. That's rough. Okay. Montreal Canadiens beat Ottawa 5-2. This was also an entertaining game. We started off. I have some side notes here. Yeah. This was kind of cool. In the pre-skate warm-up to the game, Montreal all the Montreal players wore, instead of wearing their names on their back, they put their nicknames on the back of their jerseys, and then afterwards they ended up selling them to charity. Some of the notable ones was Domi's nickname was Shootsy, very original there, and this was the best one, I think, the most original one. Tatar, his nickname was Tuna. Yeah, as in tartar sauce with okay. And these two teams meet again on Tuesday, I believe, of next week. So, in any case, let's get to the scoring. Montreal gets on the board first. Druin gets his 10th of the season, assisted by Domi and Pekka. Second period, Ottawa ties it up. DeMello gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Boddicker and Tierney. Then Montreal goes ahead 2-1. Domi gets his 2nd point of the night, his 12th goal of the season, assisted by Druin, who gets his 2nd point of the evening. Then Montreal goes ahead 3-1. Domi gets his 3rd point of the night, his 2nd goal in the game, his 13th of the season, assisted by Druin, who gets his 3rd point of the night, and Byron. Then Montreal goes ahead 4-1, just an avalanche here. Lehkonen gets his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Kotkaniemi and Shaw. 3rd period, so we're talking 4-1, 3rd period. Montreal makes it 5-1. Gallagher gets his 12th of the season, assisted by Tatar. And then Ottawa gets the last one here to make it 5-2. Stone gets his 13th of the season, assisted by Duchesne. Hey, their big boys are still getting points, right? If that's a condolence prize. I'm tired. Did I say that already? All right, so Montreal goes 0 for 3 on the power play. Ottawa goes 0 for 2. Price makes 28 saves on 30 shots. He had a good night. Anderson, not so much, made 36 on 41. Still, 41 shots. Man, he faces like 40-plus shots a game. That's unbelievable. Montreal is now 13-10-5 with 31 points. Ottawa is now 12-13-3 with 27, just under 500 there. Canadians are now 4-4-2 in their last 10. This is their win 1, and Ottawa is now 5-5-0 in their last 10 with loss 1 on the board. And okay, this is all for this board. I'm gonna go get the next board. Welcome to board 2. All right, let's get this done. Okay, first game up here, I've got the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Washington Capitals 5-3. I saw half of this game. It was amazing. It was the right half that I saw. But some pre-notes. Reeves and Wilson were going at it most of the game, and I think anyone probably would have guessed that beforehand, that might happen. Ovi had 2-3 huge hits in this game. Go see the highlights of this game, and that's not all. Ovi also gets his 20th goal in this game, which is now 14 straight seasons in which he has at least 20 goals. It's unbelievable. And Reeves also had a questionable hit here on Wilson, in which he got a 5-minute major and a misconduct. He got tossed from the game, which I'm sure you'll hear if you'll be hear people talking about on social media and all sports channels, because will he or won't he get suspended? It was kind of the similar hit that Wilson almost got fined for last time, but he didn't get suspended. It was a similar hit. It was a blindside hit, wasn't a hit to the head, but his head did bounce off the ice. So yeah, he had to get carried off, not on a stretcher, but he was wobbly. In any case, let's get to the scoring here. Can you see me? Yeah, here we go. So Vegas gets on the board first in the first period. Reeves gets his 6th of the season on the power play. 4th line guy in the power play. Assisted by Eakin and Lindbergh. Then Washington ties it up. Vrana gets his 7th of the season, assisted by Connolly. Second period, this is when the game really starts to pick up. Ovechkin gets his 20th goal, his record 20th goal of the season, assisted by Connolly, who gets his second point of the night, and Bowie. This is the period where Reeves hits blindsides Wilson, and Washington gets a 5-minute power play, and they fail to score. Washington. Apparently, the Knights have a really good PK. Anyways, third period. Vegas ties it up on a goal from Belmore, his 4th of the season, assisted by McNabb and Schmidt. Vegas goes ahead on a goal from Eakin, his 11th of the season, second point of the game, assisted by Lindbergh, second point of the game, and Englund. Then Washington ties it back up. It's 3-3 now. A goal by Vrana, his second goal of the night, assisted by Kuznetsov and Niskanen. And then Vegas goes ahead 4-3. This game winner, which was Schmidt's first goal of the season, which was on the power play and assisted by Theodore, and that's Schmidt's second point of the night, by the way. I hope he should have had this. This was a bad goal. I know it was a power play, but it was he shot it from above the 2 offensive circles, and it just went over, sails over his glove. He should have had it. He had a clear view of it. It wasn't obstructed, and that was the game winner. So Schmidt then gets the empty net, his third point of the game, second goal of the game as well, which was unassisted. Vegas goes 2 for 5 on the power play. Washington goes 0 for 4. Fleury makes 23 saves on 26 shots. Holtby makes 23 saves on 27 shots. Vegas is now 15-13-1 with 31 points. Vegas is coming on here, I think. And Washington is now 15-9-3 with 33 points. Their division, the Metro, is up for grabs, really. I mean, I think they're still in first, and then it's the Blue Jackets, but it's, not many points really separate all the teams in that there. And where are we going here? In the past 10, Vegas is now 7-3-0 with their first win, so the last game they lost. 7-3-0. Vegas is making a comeback, and Fleury is in good form. Washington is also 7-3-0 in the last 10, but this is their second loss in a row. So, that's it. That's all. Next game. I saw this game. This was also a good game. Maybe not quite as good as this, but it was still a really good game. The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Buffalo Sabres 4-3 in overtime. Of course, this was a good game. Went to overtime, right? And a semi-real hockey score here as well. This is the battle of the QEW here. Toronto. A little pre-game note. Matthews, coming into this game, had 3 goals in 2 games since coming back from injury. Toronto is also, you can see they score first in this game. Toronto is also 13-0 to start this game. After this game, they're 14-0, but they're 13-0 since scoring first this season. And Matthews also got the overtime goal in this one, his second overtime winner of the season, and now he's got 15 goals in 14 games. Imagine if he didn't miss those 14 games or whatever it was. In any case, let's get to the board. First period, no goals. Second period, Matthews gets on the board first, his 14th of the season, assisted by Hainsey. This was a weird... the puck went up in the air, sort of behind the net. Matthews grabbed it while being covered by the defenseman, who didn't see him do it because he grabbed it over his head, put it on the floor, came around the net, and dumped it in the net. It was, watch that. Then Buffalo ties it up. Reinhart gets his 8th of the season, assisted by Beaulieu and Ristolainen. Then still in the second, Toronto goes up 2-1. Gardner gets his second goal of the game, second goal of the season, assisted by Tavares and Marner. There's another assist for Marner. Go watch that goal. That was a beauty goal. It was a very tic-tac-toe. Both players, with the exception of the goal scorer, obviously, passed the puck behind their back. It was, Go check that out. Third period, Buffalo, not only Buffalo ties it up, Eichel gets his 6th of the season. Only his 6th goal. He's not scoring a lot of goals, but getting a lot of assists this year. Assisted by Ristolainen and Skinner. I didn't mark this board properly. That's Ristolainen's 2nd point of the game. Buffalo then goes ahead 3-2. Eichel gets his 2nd goal of the game, 7th of the season, assisted by Reinhart. And then we're almost towards, I want to say, midway through the 3rd period or 3/4 of the way through, and Marleau in the right place at the right time, corner of the net, puck on a shot from the blue line, goes behind the net, and then comes out on the other side. Guess who's there? Patrick's there. He scoops it up, puts it in the net, gets his 7th of the season, assisted by Riley and Matthews, who gets his 7th or his 2nd point of the game. Excuse me. So that's overtime. Matthews, just a beautiful shot. Kapanen passes it. Was a 3-on-3. Kapanen passes. There's a drop pass to Matthews. Uses the D as kind of a screen, and just a wicked snapshot. Fast, hard, accurate, beautiful goal. You can't blame Allmark on that. Matthews gets his 2nd goal of the game, 3rd point of the game as well, assisted by Kapanen and Gardner, who gets his 2nd point of the night. The Leafs go 0-for-2 on the power play, as does Buffalo, but their penalties kind of intertwined, so no one had a full 2 minutes to work on it, on either one. Anderson saves 38-41. He continues to be a rock. Allmark, not so shabby himself, saves 26 of 30. Toronto is now 28-0 with 40 points. I believe, I want to say Tampa's the only team with more points than them right now. Maybe Nashville is too. In any case, Buffalo is now 17-8-4 with 38 points. They've been cooling off. Toronto is 8-2-0 in their last 10, and this is their 5th win in a row. Buffalo's now 6-2-2 in their last 10, and this is their 4th loss in a row. Next game, Minnesota Wild beat the Vancouver Canucks 3-2. Some notes on this. This was Josh Levo's first game with Vancouver after being traded with Toronto. Levo was playing a lot of 4th line minutes, and he could probably play 3rd, maybe even 2nd line wing, and pot some goals. But Toronto was just too deep of a team. Nylander came back. Someone had to go, and instead of losing him on waivers, they traded him to Canucks for an AHLer who's 22 years old, but everyone thinks he'll be a career AHLer. I believe his name is Carcion. So I wonder why didn't Dubas just try and get like a 7th round draft pick instead? Maybe you can uncover a gem. Why just a career AHLer? But maybe Vancouver has the same idea. That's why they didn't want to give them a pick. In any case, let's get to the. Quick note. I digress. So Levo, his first game with the Canucks. He also gets his first goal with the Canucks. You can see he scores there first. But Canucks put him on the first line. They play him on the first line with Pettersson and Besser in this game. And who does he get the pass from? Pettersson and Besser. I have a note here from Minnesota too. Two of Minnesota's goals here. They scored all 3 of their goals were on the power play, but 2 of those goals were on deflection. So it's hard to blame Nielsen too much for those. In any case, the board. Levo gets his 5th of the season, assisted by Pettersson and Besser to make it 1-0 Vancouver. Minnesota ties it up. Parise gets his 13th of the season on the power play, assisted by Dumba and Spurgeon. Second period, Vancouver goes ahead 2-1. Mott gets his 4th of the season, assisted by Schaller and Stetcher. Minnesota then ties it up on the power play again. Suter gets his 4th of the season, assisted by Granlund. Minnesota then scores again to make it 3-2. Another power play goal. Zucker gets his 9th of the season, assisted by Granlund, who gets his 2nd point of the night, and Stahl. 3rd period, no goals. Minnesota goes 3 for 3 on the power play. What's up with that PK, Vancouver? And Vancouver goes 0 for 3 on the power play. What's up with that special teams, Vancouver? Dubnyk saves 29 to 31. Nielsen saves 25 to 38. Minnesota's now 15-10-2 with 32 points. Vancouver 11-16-3 with 25 points. Minnesota is 4-6-0 in their last 10 games, and this is their first win. They've been on a little bit of a slide lately. They were doing really well for the first, I want to say, 20 games, and then this. In any case, Vancouver, in their past 10, is now 1-8-1. Speaking of slides, and lost 4 in a row. Yeah. So let's move on to the last game here. The notes I have for this game: Will Ferrell was at this game. Yeah, he's one of my favorite comedians. Anyways, in this game, Arizona gets their league-leading 11th shorthanded goal. Let's get to the board. Arizona gets on the board, gets on the scoreboard first. Krause gets his 5th of the season shorthanded. There it is, assisted by Archibald and I can never pronounce. This is hard to pronounce. Probably something really easy, but Himlarsson. Assisted by that guy. He used to play for Chicago. And if you say it, that's how you pronounce it. Maybe you could leave that in the comment section, how to pronounce his name. Second period, Arizona goes up 2-0. Schmaltz, who just came in the trade from Chicago for Dylan Strome, and what was the other player's name? Starts with an F, I think. In any case, Schmaltz is a winger / centerman. I believe he's playing wing. He gets on Arizona. He gets his 4th of the season on the power play, assisted by Ekman Larsson and Keller. 2-0 Arizona. Third period, LA makes it interesting. And that's just towards the end of the third, I believe. Martinez gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Kopitar and Brown. The LA Kings go 0 for 2 on the power play, and Arizona goes 1 for 4 on the power play. Side note, Jonathan Quick got a roughing penalty in the first period. It's funny because I saw the highlights and I couldn't see any trace of that. I did catch the end of this game, but he got that penalty in the first period. So, yeah, weird. If you can find that, be interesting to see what went down there. Quick made 18 saves on 20 shots. Hill made 25 saves on 26 shots. This kid, I believe from the AHL, he's been putting up some really good numbers for Arizona lately, and you'll see that because they've won 4 in a row. So LA is now 10-17-1 with 21 points. Arizona's 13-11-2 with 28 points. In the last 10 games, LA is 4-6-0, and with this being their first loss. And Arizona, they are 5-4-1 in their last 10. And this is their 4th win in a row. And I think it's mostly to do with this AHLer. I believe his first name is Aiden Hill. I believe that's his name. That's it. All right. Games for tomorrow. Wednesday, December 5th, 2018. There are 3 games on. Edmonton versus St. Louis. Chicago versus Anaheim. And the Carolina versus San Jose. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry this was so long. Hit like if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you know if you have any hockey geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.